I have no gear? Oh! Okay. Wow. This is legit. This is legit though. Look at the actual syringe. Wow, this is incredible. What do I even want to do? I want to do... Alright. Brand new patch. Who knew that they could actually do stuff in Dead Cells still? Like, incredible. Man, it's been a while since we did patch note discussion. I'm excited. I've studied Skara for the last couple weeks, trying to learn the ways of how to do a patch note discussion. Pretty lengthy. It's about the size of what? This almost looks like 1.2 size. This is pretty large. I see balance. That's the real deal right there. Balance, level design, that's cool. Quality of life, oh baby. Give me that. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Hope everyone's excited to talk for about 2 hours. I know you all love 2 hours of talking. And then after that, we'll actually play. All right, Corrupted Confinement. A new optional biome has been added, mirroring prison depths. Both biomes are now very short, with one cursed chest at the beginning. So that's kind of cool. I mean, we've been taking the cursed chest from, because it's honestly in a random position. We've been taking that usually into the ossuary and getting a clear there. I don't know if that's gonna force you to do the clear sooner. I feel like probably not, but we'll kind of have to wait and see how that plays out. Scroll fragments. These are quarters of scrolls called fragments, which begin to appear at BC3. Find 4 of them to make a whole triple scroll? I wonder if those drop off monsters, because that would be incentive for you to do a full clear, or at least once you find all 4, then maybe you don't actually kill any more monsters. That might be further down, so we'll have to see what that is. Recycling tubes, a new meta upgrade, unlockable when beating the Hand of the King for the first time in 1 BC. Replace the starting gear with 4 set of 5 random items, and then you choose one. The first part of Dead Cells can be very tedious without any skills and the stat points that come with it, so we hope this will help. So for those who don't know, we often have issues where you leave prison quarters without even a skill, period. So in this case, you have your melee slot, your range slot, your shield slot, and then 2 slots for skills to start off with. And that's fun. Definitely helps you get that 30 door. Probably really good for people who like auto reset as soon as they get hit. Or if they take too much damage, if they know they can't get the 30 kill, then they just alt F4, restart. Next game. So I think that's perfectly fine. Hey Oren, how are you doing today? This seems pretty cool. Yeah, top 3 things are already pretty legit. Explorer Instinct, a new room? Reveals the whole map and its points of interest when you've explored most of the level. Interesting. So that means we can kind of plot out where the doors are, go straight for the doors. Now this is gonna be a lot different than say Binding of Isaac. In that game, you, at least I'm pretty sure, under most circumstances, you never know what the floor layout is. So unless you're like an expert at the game and can figure that out, then that's great. Unless like you need to clear over 50% of the map just to see the rest of the map, maybe that makes more sense. I feel like if you plot out even 50% sounds like a lot. So I would say, let's say you have to get a curse. You've been going through the whole map. Man, you have no idea where this cursed chest is. You've already plotted out like 75% of the map. And the remaining 25% is just like a single room and the cursed chest right behind it. So I feel like that, well, the next one's fewer cursed chests. So maybe we should look at that before we start talking about curses. Hey Chakram, how are you doing today? While we do think it's a great mechanic, being forced to open all cursed chests to not fall behind curve can be frustrating. The chance of random cursed chests in each level has also been updated. So they reduce the number of curses and then maybe remove the random curse completely? I don't know. I think it'd be cool if they like kept the random one in Promenade and then maybe a random one, like keep the regular one in Toxic and make another one for random. I don't know. I like the idea of reducing the number of curses. That's gonna make it so that more people might be taking curses because it's so few and far between. And then once you get to like the later levels, then maybe you'll decide, okay, I don't need curses because I finally got my full build. Are you on time for update review? Just on time. It's not even a review, this is like first impressions. So this is my first time seeing any of this stuff. I tried to, even though I posted in the Discord, I made sure that I didn't actually look at any of it. So let everyone else kind of discuss it while I don't spoil myself. So fewer cursed chests, I like it. I like not having to slow down and like wait for Giant Whistle to come off cooldown just for a safe kill. I like the idea of people not having to wait for their powerful grenade. How many cursed chests there are, I don't know. If they did like one cursed chest per map, some maps have 3 cursed chests, and that's a lot of curse. That's 30 monsters you have to kill without getting hit. And in most cases, like, it's not that bad, but when you're rocking, say, Giant Killer, Shield, and you decide to have fun that day with a Wolf Trap and maybe 1 powerful grenade instead of double powerfuls, then you are gonna slog through 30 monsters. And maybe the right thing to do is to, you know, pull the whole map, just find 10 monsters, mob them, toss the bomb, they're gonna die, instant curse relief. Fantastic. If that works out for you, then incredible. But I kind of like the idea of having maybe 1 double powerful. Oh no, you're not gonna like what's coming. Oh, the spoilers. I can't wait, I'm excited. New tactics mutation, Caltrops. Dodge to place up to 9 Caltrops on the ground, damaging and slowing enemies. That's actually kind of legit. So, for example, you're running the new tactics assassin dagger. You automatically roll behind the enemy, like no matter what. So if you go with, I don't know how it works with invisible. So if Caltrops breaks your invisibility, then that's gonna be kind of weird. So if you have Predator, Caltrop, you assassinate 1 enemy, you activate Predator, you try to roll through the next in order to backstab it. If you break invisibility for that, then that might be kind of awkward. But maybe it's not that bad, because since you're rolling through, you're getting the Caltrop down, you're gonna slow them, so they can't do anything anyway, even if they can see you. So that's actually probably decent. I'd say for like the ranged builds, it's probably not like your go-to, but it always works, and that's like kind of decent. Now the big question is, how powerful is that slow when you're not running tactics? Like, sure, it's not gonna do any damage because you won't have purple, but imagine if the slow was like a static 2-second slow just for dodge rolling through enemies, almost like necromancy, vengeance, all that stuff that has flat healing, flat damage reduction. That could be kind of interesting. But we'll have to see. I'll have to see how this actually feels in a melee setup. New tactics mutation networking. So now we have a whole, look at these, 3 more tactics mutations. How in the world did they even come up with more tactics stuff? Stick an arrow in 2 or more enemies to make them share the damage they take. I don't know how I feel about that. So, for example, you have Pierce. I don't think that works with Pierce because I don't think an arrow gets stuck in the other enemy. It shoots out a phantom arrow, and the phantom just pops once it hits the target. If you're talking about, say, quick bow, for example, I think you pretty much just hit everything in a line in front of you. So it's like, do they really want you to like go around maps putting single bullets into every enemy, and then once, like, so you hit one enemy, you go to the next one. When you hit that one, you're also hitting the second one, the one that you first found. So maybe that's the idea behind it. I don't know how good that is. It's useful on the giant, that's true. Again, you have to put 1 arrow in the first target and then start attacking the second target. And then once that first one falls off, you have to alternate. And they stay stuck for a good amount of time, so it's probably not that bad. But I don't know how often I would use that. I think I would have to see it in action. Because for the most part, whenever we play a ranged build, you're just letting monsters come to you. So you have a hallway, there's just stuff walking down it, and you're just holding square because you're using quick bow and just like volleying arrows in that direction. I think maybe with like infantry bow, maybe marksman bow, like stuff where you might not get the kill at range and it gets close to you and you start having to dodge. That's when networking will probably activate. Doesn't look good to you, who knows? I'm skeptical, but I would like to see it. Because it might be kind of cool to hit the first target and then focus on the next target. But I feel like when you're playing tactics, you probably don't want to do that regardless. Third mutation, tactical retreat. Dodging just in time slows nearby enemies and prevents them from inflicting melees. This sounds like it might be broken. Not broken as in OP, but broken as in you're probably gonna break a boss or something. Or you're probably gonna get like killed by a golem because, well, not golem, let's say a slasher. So elite slasher, you did the dodge roll through. He's just standing there because you have no idea when the attack's coming out, and he just swipes you instantly after the slow. So I love the idea of a time slow on dodge, like Bayonetta style. Witch time. I love the idea of witch time in Dead Cells, but I feel like you could easily get yourself killed off of it. Enemies get wonky on the slow. Yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about. Where you actually might get yourself insta-popped because you dodge roll through the enemy. Or like you dodge roll through a failed experiment that was jumping and the other failed experiment was preparing to jump and got slowed. That always gets me. Slowed jumps from zombies and failed experiments. By far the worst slows in the game. Like actually awful. Or slowed elite laser. Oh my god. Totally gonna get hit. Remove the possibility to equip 2 items of the same type. Legendary items are not concerned by this restriction. And there's a custom mode to revert this and lock achievements. 2 weapons of the same type. Now, if they mean like 2 copies of the same thing, then that's, I don't know. That's a nerf. That's a pretty decent nerf, as a matter of fact. They mean you can't equip the same item. Okay. That's a nerf and a half. So I like the idea of making legendaries immune to it, because that means it's actually like viable. Someone might see the double powerful because one of them's legendary, and I think that's a cool concept. But we are so trained on using, yeah, chat already knows, double boomerang, double kunai, double boy axe, double valmont, double death orb, double ice shards. Like, that's a nerf. Buff to freaking timekeeper. Yo, double owls? Wait, did they really just kill double owl just like that? That's... oh no. The lost owl sister. She's out there, never to be found. That little owl bro. All alone. You can't do that. Come on, devs. At least let the owls be doubled. How you gonna have... owls are social creatures. You can't have an owl out there by itself. That is cruel and unusual. So glad but so sad. Double javelin, yeah. I know some people who are gonna be real sad. I mean, I get it. I definitely get it. If they wanted to nerf builds, I think that's fair. But we've definitely been like really trained on using double items, so that one's gonna take a little bit to get used to. But hey, I am perfectly okay with the devs nuking the game, doing like Fortnite, make it like a season 15 Dead Cells. All the items are trash. We're bringing in brand new stuff like Magic the Gathering. We are on the Magic the Gathering 2019 base set right now. And if that means that all the previous stuff is out of rotation, that's fine. I'm okay with that. So, you got my seal of approval, Motion Twin. I am perfectly willing to accept that nerf. Final nail in the coffin for all the dubs. That's exactly right. Alright, colorless items with stat boost now increase your highest stat dynamically. So that's kind of cool. I don't know if that counts for legendary items. Unless there's like a new icon. So if they make a new icon where it still gives you all 3 points of health, but the damage is converted into your main damage, I feel like that's a little OP. But I kind of have to see it. I like the idea of having bonus health. I also like the idea of having 3 stats worth of damage. Yeah, colorless but not legendary. Thank you, IDK. I figured it wasn't legendary. So having like an S rank, green damage, lacerating aura, when you're using Giant Killer with Instincto, that sounds a little nutty, to be quite honest. Now Green Spiteful actually gives you green scrolls. That could also be pretty... well, actually, I think I like that better than Giant Killer, to be honest. Like, just hold triangle, get the block, and then just spam square. Don't even have to care about hits. I like that. That's a big boost to cursed items, for sure. I know a lot of people don't like getting curses because A, having to upgrade a curse from plus to S was kind of bad. But B, you're also gonna be likely down 2 scrolls. So 2 is a big number. I'm glad they were able to do something there. Added a custom mode to increase the number of mutations equipable. Wait, that actually sounds hilarious. Added a custom mode option to make every item colorless. A lot of people are asking for this. So both of these together, oh, you can make some nutty runs. Have like 6 mutations and everything colorless. I wonder what would be the strongest setup in that case. I feel like it's gotta be some kind of tactics build with lacerating aura. And you can't use double lacerator, so maybe it's something like lacerator, light speed with hunter's instinct, instincto for a boss. I think you can get lacerating aura that applies poison, so maybe you bring out the Sata Stiletto. I don't know, that sounds like a lot of stuff. But yeah, definitely the meme runs for sure. This is when you do it. Alright, balance time. Easily the best part of the patch, and I know we have a lot to go through, and I kind of have to get better at learning how to talk. That's a skill in and of itself. Removed hard damage cap of straight 9s in order to stop penalizing heavy-hitting weapons against bosses. Very much monitoring this change, as it could also cause unseen issues. So when you're running, so really the only people that have to worry about this are survival and maybe a very small amount of tactics builds, like Nerves of Steel that has like bonus damage to poison, bonus damage to blood. I don't know if there's a lot of brutality weapons that can actually achieve straight 9s. I think the last hit of a couple brutality items might do it. But I think for the most part, it's survival, and that's good because we don't like the idea of, hey, I'm rocking this giant killer, it's always doing straight 9s. We're rocking the Nutcracker. Imagine using a Nutcracker that actually gets to straight 9s worth of damage. That means you deserve to deal more than that. If you got absolutely like Thor's hammer in the Nutcracker, you deserve to get over 100,000 damage. I think that's perfectly reasonable. If you took this thing, and remember, you don't see straight 9s until like pretty deep in the game. If you get straight 9s on Timekeeper, then like that's pretty incredible. Straight 9s against High Peak Castle, I think is pretty normal.
No. Look at that damage. We're dead.
Welcome, Lions. I like it. That's a buff to players. Remember, we just got hecka nerfed up here. Where is it? We just got super nerfed up here, so thank you, devs. Little give and take. Cannibal now pause longer after its third hit, giving you a window of opportunity to strike. That's pretty good. Cannibals are always scary, so some way to outplay. Let's say you get hit by the second strike and you can dodge roll out of it. That's probably a good thing. Corrupted power damage buff now scales with item level and quality. Corrupted powers damage buff. So I think Corrupted Power had its own base DPS up, and maybe that is getting an additional plus based off of its own level and own quality. Are you telling me that Corrupted Power never got like a higher damage bonus? Protector platform cost increased, which means less mobs around. Protector platform cost. So I'm gonna guess this is like code, like dev side, where maybe the game only has a specific number of protectors it's allowed to spawn, and they decided to spawn no protector platform yeah. So now protectors, almost thinking like unit cost, the unit cost of a protector is higher. That's what I'm taking that as. I'm gonna hope that means that it's actually less protectors, which would be really cool. Corrupted's power damage scaled oddly before. Yeah, I never compared one corrupted power to the other one. That's probably the issue. So it would be great if they just buffed it. Like a straight buff would be amazing. Rip double owls. Yeah, I'm so sad. You're referring to powerful grenade breaking straight 9s. Since you're not rocking 2 of them, that is probably okay. Less enemy density on the protector platform. I actually didn't know they had the capability to measure that. So that's kind of cool. If the seed is so well designed that it can actually decide how many monsters can be around a protector, that's actually pretty cool. So definitely looking forward to seeing that. I had some protectors yesterday that was like surrounded by 10 monsters plus an elite. So I'm glad to see they're able to do something about that. I didn't have that big a problem with it because I like running face against all the enemies anyway. And it's kind of cool to like beeline to the protector, take it out, and then 10 monsters are chasing you. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maximum number of knife throwers on one platform decreased, so another thing just like this. Great Owl of War drop rate increased. That's kind of cool. And Great Owl came from Knife Thrower, so I'm a little surprised because you can get Great Owl really early in the game, just using the Hunter grenade, but I'll take it. Sweeper. I am like drawing a blank. Is Sweeper the Fogger? So a Sweeper. Oh, it's this thing? I didn't think these had to be nerfed. Nice ad, by the way. Okay, I mean, I'll take it. Any kind of buff is fine. The Guardian's Haven now directly leads to Throne Room. So you can skip... What? The Guardian's Haven now directly leads to the Throne Room. So you can actually skip High Peak Castle if you go caverns. I don't know how I feel about that. Because we like going wait, you don't even have to go caverns. You don't even have to go caverns. You can just go Sepulcher, unless there's a change down here. We're not all the way at the bottom yet. Unless there's a change at the bottom, you can just go from Sepulcher to the Giant. Let's check out, just a quick search, caverns. Fix the transition between Cavern and Guardian's Haven. So I don't know if it's actually... Huh. Interesting. You miss 4 stats if you do that? Yeah, but you all know how slow my runs are. We gotta go fast. Maybe High Peak Castle has less scrolls now. There's scroll fragments too, so we're getting into some interesting territory. And again, I like the idea of making the game faster. Again, they can do anything, and I think I'll take it. I think I'll be perfectly content, whatever they do. But yeah, we'll have to see. See if there's a real incentive to skip over High Peak Castle. If there isn't, then we can't skip it in 5BC. The bestiary of Prison Quarters, Promenade, and Ramparts have been tweaked. I'm gonna have to see what monsters got replaced. Scrolls spread in between biomes have been slightly balanced to be more coherent with the difficulty of the level, and to prevent some roads and biomes to be a clear, better choice. So again, this is something that a lot of people have asked for. We don't want to have one route being the optimal route for stats, because another route being the food route or the weapon route is still not as good as scroll route. Like, pretty much any day of the week, and I say it all the time that I like going caverns, I like getting that 20% necklace, but in the end, having more like damage is probably better than getting a 20% necklace. You'd rather skip Hype Castle because it's too super deadly. I think the ultimate test is to go into the giant, take him out, and then go into Hand of the King and see how difficult Hand of the King is. If he's not that difficult, then I'm gonna assume that the next map is also not that difficult. Because again, that's Bomber's failed experiment. That stuff isn't very dangerous at all. It's really just Shantae that's the problem after Throne Room. And then you have to fight the final boss. And maybe he's gonna be a little stronger for sure, but I'd like to see how difficult Hand of the King is. Alright, but let's keep it rolling. Cleaver cooldown reduced and health increased. That's a buff to Cleaver. I'll take that because I actually like Cleaver a lot. Ice Bow now scales with survival. That's pretty cool for Nutcracker, but also bad if you get the Nutcracker that shoots out a bomb. It just breaks the ice anyway as soon as you press square. Actually awful. Frost Blast now scales with survival. That's super interesting. Same concept, you just want to not break monsters with the bomb. I don't even know if I like the fact that weapons throw bombs when you use them. I think that's like super uninteresting, and if anything, it just breaks frozen monsters. So I like to see them actually get rid of throwing bomb when used. I don't know what they will replace it with, but I'll take anything. Just don't break my ice. Ice Bow now scales with survival. The idea of green scaling freezing is to begin offering alternatives to a shield. I like that. I'll take it. I mean, a lot of people auto sell their Ice Bow anyway, but it would be cool to just have some options. Yo, okay. Wow, okay. So Lightning Bolt Green was very, very good. Honestly, because like there's not a lot of other stuff that does as much damage. Green needs new mutations for freeze. That would be cool. So I like the idea of this stuff. I just don't like the fact that I break ice just for pressing square before my attack even hits it. Limited the spawn of hammer to 1 per room instead of 2. So again, they have the technology apparently to be able to set this. So very cool stuff. Advanced Forge upgrade costs divided by 2. Advanced Forge. This thing, Advanced Forge. This is what lets you double upgrade an item. It was previously a 2,000 cost. I guess making it half is fine. I know a lot of people don't use it. Permanent. I guess here it's considered general improvement. I use it on stuff I unlock, and I think that's it. Because we're playing with maxed Forge, I get S rank stuff anyway. Cursed items is plus, so you only have to do the 1 upgrade. So the only time I ever get to use Advanced Forge is when I unlock an item, and then I can double upgrade it. I guess outside of that, it's good if you want to play on other difficulties. That's like if we're doing a challenge night, if we're doing Rock Band, Controller, Dead Cells, then yeah, we can do that. Otherwise, there's no impact for me, so just lowering it is good for everybody. Perfectly fine. Increased drop rate of blueprints dropped by the hammer. I don't I mean, I guess increasing any drop rates are fine. I'm bad because again, I don't mind farming. So, except for hemorrhage, we didn't see hemorrhage for like months. That was the only thing that was beginning to actually like pick at my brain. Only slightly though, because it became a meme. As long as it's memeable, I'm okay with it. Anything else besides that, Yeah, let's get that out of here. So hammer blueprints. I actually use hunter grenade on hammer. I actually have a YouTuber that shows me getting some blueprint off hammer using the grenade. I don't remember which, but I'm okay with that. Increased drop rate of axe thrower blueprint. That's the cleaver, right? Dart tracker now drops Hayabusa boots at BC 1. Is that to say that it doesn't always drop Hayabusa boots and it only dropped it at specific difficulties? I mean, if that's the case, sure. The earlier we get it, the better. That's fine. Prevent mobs from spawning in various secret rooms. Okay, so this one's actually good. So we'll often get arbiters, bombers, elites. Getting elites in a secret room is by far the most hilarious thing ever. I don't know why that has to be taken away, but if they want to, that's fine. I'm okay with it. All right, let's keep it going. Bosses skip their tutorial phase. What in the world is a tutorial phase? Is that a buff to bosses where they're always in like phase 4? So imagine like Conjunctivius not doing the first like non-Toho phase, and like Toho is always on the board. That sounds a little deadly. I guess I'm okay with the game being a little harder on bosses, but still, like, if that's what they're talking about, that's really interesting. But we'll have to see. We'll have to go through every boss to figure out what a tutorial phase constitutes as. Yeah, so it's all the stuff before they go enraged. So yeah, basically like pure Toho Conjunctivius. I guess I don't mind if Concierge stops doing the knockback. That's actually like okay. Timekeeper, you're right. Oh my god, if Timekeeper goes straight into swords, that's super bad. But then again, we just posted the what's that, a clip? No, I think I posted it somewhere. But there was the like 10, no, not even 10 seconds, like 5-second kill on Timekeeper. So I guess she deserves better, and that's fine. But holy moly. If you haven't been dying to bosses lately, now you might actually be. Buffs to bosses, I like that. Legendary items and items obtained in cursed chests now have 1 bonus level at higher levels. So just stronger legendaries, that is a buff. Perfectly good to see that. Improved detection of perfect dodges for adrenaline and tactical retreat. I actually thought these were relatively forgiving. If they want to make it even more forgiving, I'm perfectly okay with that. But I think this was probably not necessary. But maybe now that we have tactical retreat, witch time. Since they want to put witch time in the game, I guess they want to show off witch time more often.
No.
You think they were rough?
Damage.
Okay, I mean, I don't play adrenaline that much, and whenever I played it, I saw it. But I'm sure like once you get enough hours down with adrenaline, then you start to realize, man, this specific attack never activates adrenaline. It's too difficult to get a perfect dodge on, say, failed experiment jump. Compared to his normal hits, his slam, that stuff is easy to get a perfect dodge, but you want to like never get hit by the jump. So I can kind of see the buff, and it's a buff. So hey, I'll take it. When unlocking an item at the collector, the item now drops with a higher level. That takes your forge into account. So now I'm never gonna use the advanced forge. I was just saying that my advanced forge only ever gets used when I unlock an item. And now it unlocks at S rank. So, okay. Sure, thank you, game. Only used on lower difficulties. That's fine. Perfectly okay. Hey, Dimitito. Prevent the laser eyes and the crystal shower from happening at the same time. So, yeah, this is a death condition. I feel like this is kind of bad luck in most cases. But yes, I can say we've probably died a couple times because of this. Should it be taken out? I can't say, but if people do want it taken out, then that's perfectly fine. Again, I don't mind having like a unblockable setup as long as it doesn't auto kill you. So you'll probably auto die if that happens. Who am I kidding? If you're actually between the lasers, crystals are falling, and he's firing missiles at you, you might be in a death situation. So I guess if they want to get rid of it, that's fine. I feel like you can survive it, but maybe that's asking for a little too much. So we actually made the joke the other day. The joke was that for every outplay that's in Dead Cells, if there's a bad Steam review to go along with it, like someone just gets mega pissed because they got the crystal shower and the laser at the same time, and he starts saying stuff like, oh, the devs never play tested this, Veedotme, he does this alpha stuff, he doesn't actually test anything, he's just trying to like play early. And it's like, yeah, why don't we go ahead and actually do changes and prevent the chance of a bad review for something that's, I guess, actually like kind of evil. Reduce sweeper attack range. That's kind of cool because they actually attack like full screen. Added some invulnerability frames to, wait, I thought this thing already had invulnerability frames, but if they add more, dude, okay. So I was saying that Telluric Shock is borderline A rank? I don't remember what it was. If anyone can do an exclamation point melee in the chat so I can check what I rated Telluric Shock as. But I actually like the idea of Telluric Shock being an A rank for invulnerability, and if they could also make it like turn bombs into friendly bombs, I think that'd be really cool. So I had Telluric Shock in the B rank because you take hits that you didn't necessarily want to. I think it could actually be A tier. It just doesn't hit bats. But we one-shotted a lot of monsters yesterday using Telluric Shock. And anything that you don't one-shot gets spaced away from you, and I think that's actually super good. And it's like got some melee mutation abilities to it. Ooh, Shovel buff. All right, so Shovel, we actually like Shovel a lot, but it's really awkward when you kill, like when you're fighting Hammer, and Hammer drops all these bombs and you can only hit one of them. Like, that is awful. So I'm really glad they actually just gave the flat buff. Remember, Shovel doesn't actually do anything on its own. It's just a stick that happens to also be a baseball bat and knocks bombs away. So let's double down on the one thing that does, and I think that's actually like super good. Oh, there it is, the Shantae Nerf. How many Shantaes have we been getting shot by on the last couple streams? I can't remember the last time I haven't been hit by Shantae. So I'm okay with the nerfed aggro range. I don't want to see the laser get nerfed. I don't want to see the hit detection get nerfed. Maybe bring Shantae a little closer to you so things like Pan doesn't auto miss. But I would love to leave it as is, because I think having a threat in Astrolab is completely viable. I think it's okay to die in Astrolab to librarians. As bad as that is to say, I think it's actually fine. So this just means that they don't come from like 10 screens away and actually go for you. Alienation now reduces melees. I still don't know if I would actually take Alienation, like ever. So it's a cool concept to take Alienation while tactics. I think taking Alienation while survival isn't very good. Even if it reduces melees, you could just take Necromancy. I think Alienation while going Brutality is also not that great unless you can't use Frenzy. Because I think Frenzy Dead Inside beats Alienation Dead Inside. Only because, like, if you still, and I guess it's happened before, it's happened that I've actually died to melees with Dead Inside. And that's like, that's bad. So I think Alienation reducing melees for me might only be a tactics thing. But it also means that maybe you don't even use Extendo Heal anymore. Yeah, that's the lemon drop. Exactly. The resistance buff given by the legendary altars to enemies around have been decreased. I don't know if that was necessary. I guess on the lower divisions, when you can't drag monsters away from the altar, then that's necessary. So I would almost rather this only apply to 3 BC and lower. I think 4 BC and higher, it should actually stay as is. With the concept being you need to drag the monsters away, and if you don't drag the monsters away, then you're gonna have a bad time. I think this is a little bit too much of a nerf to monsters, but then again, maybe it was really bad in the lower divisions. So I think if they want to change it, that's fine, but I think I'd rather keep it in 4 BC plus. Frantic Sword now deals critical damage if you have less than 50% HP or at least 50% of your melee's bar filled up. This is actually kind of legit. Imagine running imagine running Gastro, where you're actually gonna eat infected food and then crit enemies. And then once your melees gets too high, you actually like kill off the remaining infected food and you just keep attacking stuff. So I like that. That's a straight up buff. I don't know if I would be ready to build something around this, but I actually think that could be like really decent. You get 7 melees just trying to get the 50% on purpose. Yeah, so we tried Kellen to do a shield build where you actually go into a biome. Obviously, the earlier the better. You block the first monster all the way down to 50%. You don't take any melees from that. And then for the rest of the biome, you maintain 50% until you get your 60 kills. And then after that, you can eat your food or whatever. So I think that's cool. I really like that. Level design. Increase the size of the flask room to accommodate for a growing item pool. More items? Well, more mutations. That's right. So we have new mutations in the queue. Prevent altars from spawning in front of ladders. So again, with the actual altar stuff, that they've been trying to fix for a long time. So I'm glad they were able to do something about it. But definitely cool to see that. Alright, graphics and UI. Added broken flask in the flask room to show items that are locked during custom mode. That's cool. So if any of you all watch streamers and see that they actually like are running custom mode, as soon as they load in, you can kind of see what they have locked. So I definitely like that idea. Improved Killstreak icon. The icon now changes to display whether you already reached. Oh my goodness, thank you. All the times where I have to ask you all the times where, and again, I don't assume that chat's trolling me. I usually trust what chat says, and I'm no longer gonna have to ask the question. Did I actually get the 60 or not? Please, who can I trust in chat to tell me that? Now, it's fine. V.59s. I made V.60. I can make 59. It was not that difficult. And I hope it's like clean for you all. I hope you like V.60. Flip the flint icon. I guess the flat side should be sticking downward and the like sharp shot side should be up. No, but I don't remember how this actually looks. It's supposed to be his finger, right? So there's nothing wrong with this because I'm pretty sure you hit with this side. But I don't really know what is the point of that. Actually unplayable until they flipped it. Made some dedicated sprites for electric wall and gravity well traps. So, electric wall is like in the final map, the Astrolab, the 2 balls that have electricity going. I didn't know that had to be changed. I guess it's in Caverns too. But I'll take more graphics, more art. Very cool. Added a couple of warning frames before lightning bolts start hurting you. Oh. Okay. So that's kind of cool. Remember, my first clip pretty much of Dead Cells was this death using lightning bolt while cursed. Easily one of my top like 10 anime deaths of all time. So I love the idea of giving players at least some kind of indication as to why they died. Yeah, exactly, Bolohu. If only I had this back in 2003. If only I had it years ago before I died, but maybe I needed that death. You never know. If I didn't have that death, you'd never know where we would be today. Added icons on dropped items to show which items have starred or damage affixes. Okay. Lore rooms have now their own color on the map. Now, that's actually really good. Like, I kind of know what the lore room is as soon as I actually check the map. So, for example, there's a bunch of rooms that I don't have clear. As soon as I start, like, clearing them, you can start to realize that's the actual lore room. I don't have to go there because it's probably bad. Probably no items there at all. Alright. Quality of life. So besides balance, quality of life is like the second best thing in the world. Actually amazing. Lore, lol. Yeah. Now I also don't have to tell chat that I'm gonna skip this room. Trust me, it's lore. We are not going into it. The timer is now paused in the specialist shop. I guess that's good. I don't know how many like speedrun doors people are missing because they went into this room, but great. That's another buff to us. I'll take it. Oh, there we go. Whew. Yo, patch of the year right here. Holy crap. Finally 10 out of 10 patch right here. By far the best patch you could ever have. Random skins. That's all I ever wanted. Early Christmas. Christmas in October. Spooky Christmas. Honestly, I don't know about you all, but I'm actually gonna have random skins set. Like, there's no reason for me to go with the same old tired, raggedy skins every single game. We can finally do what's important. This is very important. Had to do it. Thank you, devs. Magic missiles and pyro now shoot. Oh, wow. That's a super buff right there. So magic missile, I actually said was balanced because you have to spam the button. So imagine not having to spam square and being able to actually hit, or if you're playing on PC, having to spam left click. Like, this is, believe it or not, a buff to both of these items. Not only are you getting the maximum attack speed by holding down the button, but you can easily super switch to circle, R1 for the whatever you're doing. Doesn't even matter. You don't think it's necessarily a buff, it's just not hurting your thumb. So I would say try tapping square on quick bow versus holding down square. And if you can achieve quick bow's attack speed by spamming square, then you're already a god gamer, and you don't need any of these buffs. You're like an actual like high key beast if you can get the maximum attack speed from spamming square on quick bow. But for players like me, for the old timers, for these elders who are playing Dead Cells, I absolutely need to hold square for quick bow. And being able to do that with Magic Missile, that's a buff to me. So thank you, devs, for doing that. Now, this might be S rank potential? I don't know. Added an option to display milliseconds during level loading and at the end of the run. I'm gonna assume that's a speedrunner thing. I don't actually have any reason to hate or love that. But anything for the speedrunners, I'll take it. Doors leading to sub-levels are grayed up on the mini-map once visited at least once. Okay. I'd rather know what's inside. So for example, if you go in, you see a cool item and you leave it, I'd rather it show like something on it to say this item, well, this location has an item. I don't really care to see if I visited it already. What I really want to know is, does it still have stuff inside? If so, yes, please. Alpha saves have unlocked everything from the get-go. Thank you. Now I don't have to actually learn what drops what. Added a sound and visual effect. Ooh, I like this a lot. So I really like the idea of having more indicators of when my stuff is gonna stop. So the symmetrical lance and oil crit having something, I really wish they could do the reverse with balance blade, because I think balance blade needs a visual to show you how close you are to your crit, and then it can do the same to show when it's about to fall off. So motion twin, if you're out there, please, we need to be able to see balance blade. So it actually might be only those crit condition items where this qualifies. Otherwise, I think they actually hit the nail on the head on this. Very good. All right, last quality of life. Added a screen bound warning for enemies attacking outside the screen. So is that like an FPS game where it has like the red indicators on the corners of your monitor or your TV so you can actually see like the direction you got hit from? I think you'll get hit, like you'll see the bullet though. I mean, I'll take it because that's just more accessibility, but you'll see the bullet. But again, having that accessibility is fine, so we'll take that all day. And again, you might have panned your camera up and you got shot from below and you couldn't really see what it was. So again, that's fine. They saw that spiny death clip and felt pity. No, oh no, you're talking about the skirt clip. The actual like getting hit by the truck. When that thing was flying at us at 1,000,000 miles an hour and just like dumpstered me from across the map. That's a good one, Shaq. That's a classic. I almost forgot the classic. All right, bug fixes. Predator mutation not having a cap. That's a bug, I guess. Bats not always facing the hero before attacking. Okay. Sweeper not always. So this one I've seen where he does like a dodge roll and then actually does an attack that hits behind him. I didn't know that was a bug. I thought that was actually like intended. Fix the transition between Cavern and Guardian having higher level items than the levels themselves. Okay. I thought it was just an amazing route, but apparently we were bug abusers this whole time. Oh, they did it. So that's the clip of the month from last month. Fix the parry shield queuing attacks for ultra long. Thank you. We finally got the devs to do something based on Veedotme's feedback. No, they've done some stuff before, and I always appreciate seeing anything we talk about in the actual patch notes. And I know it's not just me. There's a lot of people playing Dead Cells. I know I'm not the only one who had this issue with the parry shield. So definitely glad they buffed it because, well, it was a bug, I guess, not a buff. So now I feel like parry shield's usable again. Prevent grenades from hitting you after you manage to kill the Hand of the King. That's good. They need to do the same thing against Conjunctivius. If you're up too high in the air, you can actually get perma-stunned by Conjunctivius when it does its roar. You'll fall while stunned and then eat the stun at the bottom and get hit by tentacles. So that's another thing that they need to fix. And then prevent being able to roll out of a boss room when the boss screams and getting locked outside. The boss? Is that Conjunctivius? Because we've had a lot of people who actually had issues with Conjunct. So if that's a bug fix to that, then that's actually really good. All right, so that is a patch and a half. Like, that is actually legit. So really cool stuff. I think my favorite things here are the ice survival items, but I didn't see them remove bomb on two-hand weapons. I don't think ice is very good until they get rid of that bomb. I like the idea of caltrops. I like the idea of witch time. I guess I like Explorer's Instinct. I'll take it, sure. And then Scroll Fragments. That sounds fun. So all in all, this is like a 9 out of 10. The only thing keeping this from being a 10 out of 10 are those couple of things that they actually need to add. Like, they need to do more. And if it couldn't fit into the schedule, then that's fine. But I'm happy of what they did. So I'm gonna call this a 9 out of 10.